We are now ready to put the rail pieces together for our fabric. To do that, we're going to go to step number 13, and we're going to get our conduit wedges. There's 3 pieces that we're going to go ahead and put together. We have our cone wedge, and we have our M8 by 70 millimeter hex bolt that will go into this position here. Goes right over the top of the wedges and slides right in. On the opposite side, we have our wood piece. There will be 3 of these that we'll have to put together. Where it has the router cut on the inside, it is going to face toward the plastic wedge. Then you're going to take the jam nut, and it slides all the way on the inside. You keep this loose until you put it on the end of the pipe. And once we have it on the end of the pipe, then we want to go ahead and take and tighten this. Now when we tighten this, we want to make sure that it gets very tight. As we tighten this nut here, the wedge on the inside expands out, and while it's expanding out, it puts pressure on that, and that is how the pipes will actually stay in place on the frame itself and will not spin as you start rolling your fabric. So we're going to put this on the one side, and then the opposite side we'll do a little different. Nice and tight. Now we take the pipe and flip it around to the opposite side. And on 3 of these pipes we will do what we just did, and now we're going to put on the opposite side a little different piece. Instead of the wood piece that we just used, we're going to use the conduit rail spacer. But we use the same 3 conduit wedges, the bolt through the wedges. However, on this plastic rail piece, instead of putting it on the inside, the opened end is going to be on the outside like this. Then we take the same jam nut, put it all the way through, put the wedge into the pipe, and then we tighten that same nut on the inside, again allowing that conduit wedge to get nice and tight on the inside. And we tighten it till it's nice and tight. Once it's nice and tight, then we are going to make 3 of these rail pieces that'll be just like this. Once we got these 3 pieces, you will now see how we're going to place them on. We got the one that's going to go up where the fabric that goes through the sewing machine. We have the one that's up on the top for the top fabric. And the one that we just made here will be for the backing, and that's going to go in place. I'd like to go ahead and show you how that's going to be put in place. The bolt will go through this end here and attach. And this bolt is going to come on this side. Now the reason we put the wood piece on is because the ratchet wheel is actually going to go into the gear. And so as that drops in place, this ratchet wheel is actually going to come in and falls right into this part here. Now we can actually put this wheel on backwards. It's not a big deal. If we put it on backwards, you'll see how the teeth do not match up here. They need to just slide right in. So this is incorrect. So we just slide this out, put it in position, and here. The only thing we need to do at this point is using our fender washer on the ends and our black knob screwing it onto the ends. And then on the opposite end, we would take our fender washer again and the black knob. Now we're going to build 3 of them that have the wood pieces on the end and the spacer, the plastic one. And then on the bottom one that we have for the batting bar, we would use 2 of the spacers at both ends for the batting. And those are the 4 rails that we use for the frame itself. Looking on the inside of our left bracket, we have these little notches. And these little notches represent how we can raise or lower the height to make our bar level to the sewing machine. And you'll notice we have a little longer one and a little shorter one. And so you can just count your numbers down to where it's equal to the left side and to the right side. Here's the bed of the sewing machine, of the quilting machine. And you notice that as we come out, this is how we are going to have our bar here in reference to lining into our bed of the machine. So you can see I folded the fabric back, and it's nice and even with the bed of the machine to the bottom of the bar. So when I take the fabric and put it in position here, that the bed and the bottom of the bar is equal. And that's why we have the numbers on the side that we can raise and lower the left rail and also the right rail, so this will be equal to that.